This is the Flabbergasted Podcast, where we just can't believe you haven't seen it.
Every episode, we discuss a movie that one of us has seen and the other hasn't.
And sometimes that neither of us have seen.
Follow us on Instagram
At Flabberpod.
and subscribe in your podcast app of choice. I'm your host, Jessica.
I'm your host, Rogi. Let's get to it.
Hey everyone, we are here talking about The Devil Wears Prada and The Devil Wears Prada 2. If you haven't seen these, that's okay.
Yep.
But don't listen to this podcast, go watch them and then come back.
Yes, for sure. But if you haven't seen the first one, come on. It came out in 2016. Where have you been? It's a phenomenal movie. At least I think so.
2016?
2006.
I was like, I thought it was older than that.
No,
Wait
it
a
is.
second.
Might be. Yeah. So Devil Wears Prada. It came out in 2006, directed by David Frankel. We all know it's got the lovely Meryl Streep. She can literally do anything. One of my favorite quotes from
Project Hail Mary.
Project Hail Mary, thank you so much, was when they were trying to find the voice for Rocky and Meryl Streep came up and Grace was just like, oh my gosh, Meryl, she can just do anything. And like she can. That's just
She
the
really
truth.
can.
It's the absolute truth. So
She can sell you anything.
Yes, Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Stanley Tucci, Emily Blunt. Those are, I feel like, the key people, but we've got a handful of others in there. So for The Devil Wears Prada, meet Andy Sachs. A million girls would kill to have her job. She's not one of them. A young woman from the Midwest gets more than she's bargained for when she moves to New York to become a writer and ends up as an assistant to the tyrannical, larger-than-life editor-in-chief of a major fashion magazine called Runway. So that's kind of our little intro for The Devil Wears Prada. What was your introduction to it? When did you first watch it? Where did you start with it?
I honestly don't even remember.
Same.
I did not see it in the movie theater. I'm 90% certain.
I didn't either.
But I don't know like when I watched it.
You
I'm
just
not sure.
knew that as soon as you did, it's like, this is great.
I watched it.
It's a classic. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's fun. It's easy to watch. You know, there's some thinking that goes along with it, but it's not so layered that you can pull stuff out of it for like your life lessons if you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's kind of a feel good movie.
Yeah. There's friendships, there's work boundaries, there's, just a lot of different things in it, relationship stuff. And so there's just, becoming a person, becoming more courageous and confident in yourself. Just kind of all of those things all rolled up into one. I think one of my favorite introductions to what this movie is going to be is the cerulean sweater bit and just the montage that goes with that of how Andy is just, she scoffs because the belts, they're like, oh my gosh, they're holding up two belts to try to figure out which one will go with this outfit.
I'm pretty sure the buckles are actually different.
The buckles
though.
are completely different. Like, no.
Because I keep seeing these memes that people are doing, like, for the release of the second movie, and they're like, they look exactly the same. Or, shoot, I don't even remember what they say, but the stuff looks exactly the same. And I'm like, but the belts
were different.
Slightly different.
Yeah.
Like, they did look very similar, but they were slightly different.
Yeah, she holds them up. She goes, oh my gosh, they're just so different. And Andy scoffs. And so then Meryl just goes into this beautiful montage of the lumpy blue cerulean sweater that she's wearing that she pulled out of some Goodwill bargain bin or whatever was actually.
Which may not actually be accurate. Like,
could be because she makes a reference about going to Goodwill.
Does she say
or
Goodwill?
like thrifting? She makes
does
a reference about thrifting. And so, yeah, just that about how that color and that thing was picked in this very room years before. And then it just trickled down into the masses through that. And so I think that was one of the like first things that really like brought me into, oh, okay, like this movie, like she was very intentional with her words. Like Miranda holds the room very confidently. And so I think that that was one of my favorite things that just kind of drew me into the movie for sure. Another favorite little bit that I have is the Andy like fashion montage when she's becoming, she's fitting more into the role, figuring out what she wants to do. One of my favorite little clips that I've seen is that Emily Blunt, who plays one of her counterparts in this one, is that she I don't know if she like goes home and her husband John was watching the movie and he like waits for her to say something. And she was just kind of like, oh, you're watching Devil Wears Prada because it's one of his favorites. And he like waits to a certain point and he goes, that's my favorite outfit. And through the whole montage, he like tells her, because he's seen it enough that he knows like of all those Andy outfits in this little bit, this is his favorite one. And that just makes me giggle.
I remember seeing that on a talk show. She was saying that, and I love that too. But it's fun because you can, first of all, who doesn't love a montage? If you've been a listener, you know I'm a fan of a montage because you can accomplish so much in a short period of time. Love it. But yeah, the outfits are great, and it's fun because you see how she kind of. I think before that happens, she has this conversation with Nigel character, and she's like, "But I'm trying so hard," and he's like, "Oh, are you? Are you really?" And this is that note out there. One, good job, Andy, for listening, reflecting, and correcting. Because she wasn't actually trying. She felt like she was too good for the job. And I get it. Maybe she was. But if you're in this place that you don't want to be in, gosh, you sort of have to look at what can I get out of this? Like, what can I learn? How do I be the best? How do I be the best I can be, even though this isn't really where I want to be?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how you level up.
Yeah.
And so she has that moment with him and she's like, okay, I gotta start taking this seriously. And then she starts dressing the part and she starts genuinely caring about the job.
Yeah. She's just
doing her best.
Because you're going to get more out of something the more you put into it. And so that really is reflected in this.
Hard stop. Disagree with that.
What?
I do not think that you get more. I don't think you get what you give. Sometimes you give a lot and you get very little.
I see what you're saying with that. But you at least get learning experiences out of it. So,
I will give you that.
Like, say you're trying to perfect baking macarons. The more you do it, the more you're going to learn from it and the more you're going to get it. And so that's not always the case in relationships with people.
Yes.
And so that,
I just want to make sure.
I see your point with that for sure. But I think in this slight of an instance,
yes,
it is a little different. But yes, I see where you're coming from. And we can't blanket it all together for that. Yes.
Okay, good. we can't generalize too generally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Stanley Tucci, man, the fairy godfather that he is,
he's great.
Bless his heart. He just comes in and he's one of my favorite. Oh gosh, let's see if I pulled this one. Oh, I didn't. But he, like when he first meets Andy, and he's talking to Emily and he's just like, who is this? Like, what is going on here? Like, just already how he just initially meets her and then just how they became friends and he became her confidant and just a way to be able to just continue to learn and grow within the company and what that looks like.
And she scored big time with him because she, again, listened. And when somebody's been there for a certain amount of years, you listen and it's great to bounce your ideas off them, but you also kind of pay attention because there's a reason they've been there, you know?
Yeah.
And they have things that they can share that you don't even know you needed to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a great character. Love him.
Yeah. I really appreciated being able to see Andy's growth and her confidence and just how she got just better at her job. And she was already a very confident, capable woman.
Right.
I think she had some level of confidence, but she left with a bigger level of confidence for sure.
Yeah. I think that there was a journey, right? And it's a learning curve because she went into it thinking this is simple, this is below me, just because I don't think it's important to the world.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm no fashionista, let's be honest. I dress for what makes me happy.
I dress for comfort. So
well, it's a little of both, right? If I'm not comfortable, I'm not happy. But I want to be happy and comfortable in my clothes. Yeah. But she's not thinking about the global impact. And really, like, fashion is an art. just like
Mhm.
art is an art and music is an art. So I do personally think that it is important as a global impact. I don't, I'm not necessarily going to drop $3,000 on a handbag, and that's
Sure.
okay because
Yep.
there are people that will.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying it's not worth it.
It's just not worth it to you.
Well, it isn't because I have other things that take a higher priority.
Yeah. And that's okay.
And that's okay. Yeah.
We're all able to have different priorities.
But so she goes into it not realizing there's this global impact, and she learns that over time, like
Yeah.
that it's more complicated than she thought and it's more nuanced than she thought. And I think I love that about this movie because I do think we can generalize this, but sometimes things are more than you thought they were.
Mhm.
And if you don't try to understand or listen or, have the empathy,
Yeah.
then you're never going to get
Yeah.
to the next, like, you're not going to get that. And it, when you do get it, it can be life enriching.
Yeah. And that's something I appreciated that this movie showed was because we haven't even touched on Andy's boyfriend and her like friend group and stuff. And like, they were all very tight and like, they'd been friends for a long time. Her friend, I was really thankful to see her in The Devil Wears Prada too. Like, we have some of that people from the first one into the second one. But it shows how difficult it can be when you're growing and changing and shifting and your friends are like, you're not who you used to be. And like, that can be okay sometimes. Like you're allowed to grow and change. And I know it can be a shocker for other people, but I think that if they love and support you, then they're going to also see like the good that comes with that change and not just the negatives. And I feel like from the little bits that we were given with the friends, it was tough because there was more negatives, I think, than the positives that they saw. And I'm not saying that Andy was absolutely perfect in everything that she did. And,
definitely
it can
human.
be definitely hard because she did prioritize her work over some of the friendship opportunities that they had. But yeah, I liked that we got to see some of that life struggle of like, because it's real. Like that's what happens in people's like, especially like when kids go off to college or when they come back home and it's just like, oh my gosh, you're a completely different person. And it's like, yeah, I've grown. My frontal lobe is kind of getting there. Like,
well, yeah, I've had other experiences that I've never had.
Mm-hmm.
And now my life, like I think about things differently.
Yep. Which is okay.
And it's best if you can make space for that in your relationships. And if you can't, like, that's okay. Not all relationships are meant to last forever.
Yeah.
And when they end, it's also not necessarily a thing that should be, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing that they've ended either.
Yeah. Sometimes you're just friends for a season.
Yeah. And you can still look on it fondly and still be like,
yep.
Oh my gosh, we used to do all these fun things and that was okay. I've had friends that I've been with for, I'm trying to do the math in my head, since 2010. So
16 years.
16 years. And we've gone through where we weren't very close and we were super, super tight. And then we didn't talk to each other for a really long time.
Mm.
And then we reconnected and have become friendly again. And we are friends. And I know that, I know that I love this person and I know they love me. And like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be, your friendships change and they evolve just like you do. And you can either make an effort to like grow with your friends or not. And there's no real wrong answer.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes we lament it too much and wish that it didn't change, but change is inevitable.
Yeah.
It's a lot of philosophical talk for The Devil Wears Prada.
It's a great movie. It's there's just a lot going on and a lot of different things you can see and learn from it. So I love it.
I love when Emily goes, this is what you're doing and this is what I want you to do.
The hand motions.
Yeah.
Emily.
Or whatever she says. I don't remember exact words, but I love them.
Just the characters that were portrayed in this, like Miranda, Meryl Streep is just phenomenal as Miranda. I absolutely love and adore everything, how she inflects her words and how she just throwing her coat every time on Andy's desk and her like just the physicalness of the acting that went into it, as well as just like her, was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the same with Emily Blunt. I feel like those two were the most that were like the facials and just that you could see, again, the physicality of the acting that they were going into. I feel like both of them portrayed that the most in the first movie here. And I very much enjoyed it. Just getting to see Emily is just kind of snarky. I've been in this world and you're an idiot behavior, and just like how put together she always was, but always just a little off too. Like it was just a very different put together than what Andy had. Like hers was a little bit more showy and just kind of like, I'm high fashion. This is what I do. But Andy's, sometimes it was a little showy, but I felt like hers were just also a little muted too.
Yeah, Emily's fashion is always uptight. It's always projecting uptight, I think.
It's very
like
straight
very
lines.
subtly. But yeah,
too.
You know what I
like
mean?
her
You're
hair
getting that out
and
of her.
like even just like her, it was always hard and
Sharp.
straight. Yeah, sharp lines. Yeah, for sure. Do you have a favorite outfit in this film?
No, because I don't remember them super well.
Oh, okay. There's a handful of ones.
I don't love the boots.
Really?
Yeah, and
the
I
little
didn't
boots
love
and
that
the like
dress.
slip dress thing.
There was like a green dress, I think. I didn't love
the one that she like took home and wore, where she like was leaning up against the car and met her boyfriend out of the restaurant the one night.
Oh,
because those were boots, and that was like a little itty bitty slip dress thing, and then like a
I didn't
jackety
care
thing
about
over
that one. Like I don't love it, but
Okay.
it's not the worst. But I was thinking this green dress. It's like this olive green dress.
Oh, that one.
I don't love
no,
that.
I don't love that one.
I think.
So that's not the one I was describing, because the one I was describing, that one I think is one of my favorites.
This is the one you were talking about, right?
No, I'm not talking about that one.
I like the white. She has a white like hat and a white coat, which I love.
Yeah, when her hair's like all tucked up in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like the dress she's wearing at the end of the movie.
Oh, okay. Where the kind of off the shoulder black thing.
Yeah, with like, it's sort of like the cowl neck is like really kind of intense.
Yeah.
But, you know, I do like a good leather jacket, and she's got one of those.
She's got several jacket moments, which I really love and appreciate.
And she had several hats. I love a good jacket. I love a good hat. So I mostly like those. I think my favorite one is probably like she has this hat and like this button-up shirt with like an off-the-shoulder black sweater over it.
Oh, okay.
And I like that one. Although, would I ever wear it? I would definitely wear the hat. But that seems like a lot of layers and a lot of bulk, and I would get hot and sweaty and gross. So I'm not going to wear that. But I think that's the one that I actually like the most.
Yeah. I like going back to the green, like slip dress one with the boots. And then there was also one where she had kind of a long brownish, like leatherish jacket type thing. And I really liked that one too. But yeah, so many good outfits. She ends up breaking up with her boyfriend in the end. They just aren't able to take it.
It seems like they're not going to break up at the end of that movie.
See,
he's
when
like,
I rewatched
I'm moving
it,
to New York, or not
Boston.
New York, Boston. We could maybe make something work. And she's like, maybe.
Yeah, but they were already like broken up. And so I think it was just like they had a chance to rebuild their relationship, but I foresaw that like it wasn't going to happen. Yeah. I took it that no, they weren't going to get back together. Like it was just kind of like, hey, maybe we're open to still being friends or like hanging out, but I don't think it was. Yeah.
I think that they just kind of grew apart too.
Yeah.
Like they just missed it with each other. And I'm not saying he's wrong. Like she missed some things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She missed his birthday. Did you feel like Miranda was unfair to Andy with like pressuring her to like, you know, I mean, that's just part of that job of like having to skip things and do things. I mean, because they were there till 10:30, 11 o'clock at night some nights, like doing stuff.
I think that it's hard to say because you can have the old saying diamonds, you know, are formed under pressure, which I can definitely agree with that. But I also think that there has to be like a balance which is a big word for me. There has to be a balance between the pressure and the understanding.
Yeah.
And she doesn't make way for any of the understanding or the empathy. So I think that she's unfair? Yeah, kind of. But, that's your choice. Like,
she could have quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The money's good enough to stick around or it's not. And it seemed like Andy took it as like a personal challenge that she had to succeed at it. And
I mean, they kept saying
isn't always what you think succeeding is. Like,
success looks different. Yeah.
For everybody. Yeah. So she could have quit and that could have still been a success for her.
Yeah. But they kept saying that if you work for Miranda for a year, you can work almost anywhere. So that was her goal.
Yeah.
Was to get that
I can do this for a year.
Doing that for a year. Because I don't think the pay was that great because her dad, when he came visited, like he gave her a check of money because he didn't want her to get behind on rent.
Yeah.
And so I think that it was just kind of like, okay, this is the space that I'm in. I've been doing it for this long. Like I got to stick out so that way I can get the job that I need to wherever I want to go and be doing stuff. How did you feel about her, Miranda, making her tell Emily that she was going to take her spot in Paris?
I think it's a low stakes conversation.
Okay.
But it's a
for
good
Andy.
Opportunity for Andy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't presented that way. There was no like coaching through it. Like,
yeah, because that's not Miranda's job. She's not coaching you through anything.
Right. Like, so that was kind of crazy. But realistically, how did Emily think she was going to be going to Paris with? Didn't she had a broken leg, like legitimate?
When Andy was on the phone with her, but like they had started switching. Like Andy was kind of getting better at Emily's job.
Like, but that's the straw that broke the camel's back, kind of thing. Like you definitely can't go now.
With that.
Yeah,
but yeah. I thought it was interesting because you could see how she was progressing and she was doing better at the job and she was doing well. And like she had been put through the ringer of, trying to get the manuscript of the Harry Potter books and all that. And like
ridiculously unrealistic.
Yes. Completely wild.
Nobody's dog walkers publishing friends going to give you a copy of the manuscript. They make you sign NDAs and contract agreements that you will not. Yeah. Leak that kind of stuff.
Could have been sued for millions, and she had a copy for each of the girls plus one for their records.
Who made the copies of those, huh?
Yeah.
Who bound them?
Where did
you
they
get signed in blood agreements that they weren't going to spread it out? I'm just saying.
But I think the moment that we saw where in Miranda's eyes, Andy was the new Emily was when she pulled the name out of the senator's hat. And the woman that he was with that he left his wife for, like Rebecca, at the big fundraiser thing.
Did he leave his wife for her, or was that just his mistress on the side?
Well, I don't remember. I just remember that Rebecca wasn't his wife. That was that was the statement being made. And so like we saw that. We saw, Miranda.
Which,
just
honestly, what she should have done is she should have told Emily, and Emily should have told Miranda.
Well, they were running out of time.
I know, but I mean, that would have preserved the chain of command, if you will.
Yeah. So I have several favorite quotes from this movie. I was looking them up to write them down on the way here. Do you have any favorite quotes, or do we want me to just kind of run down the list of mine?
You go through yours, because all of mine are like Emily's anything. Anything she says, I love.
Yeah. Well, we can start with the Emily's one. The ones I have is 1 million girls would kill to have this job. Like I feel like she said it multiple times. I don't know if she did, but I know that it was said in this movie and it was said in the second one. So I like that tie-in. But I think one of my favorite Emily quotes, which I do not condone this. So people out there, this is not advice. It was just,
this is not a
I
health
appreciate
podcast.
The quote in the movie. I'm on this new diet for when I feel faint, I eat a cube of cheese. That just cracks me up every time. Yes. I would like you to please be eating when you feel faint. Don't just eat a cube of cheese, eat some more than that. But yeah.
Don't stop eating food to the point where you're going to faint.
Yeah. So Stanley Tucci, some of his couple lines that he does, my favorite one is when he just screams down the hallway, gird your loins to everyone. And then they start bustling and wrestling and trying to, get their shoes on, apply their lip gloss before she gets up there because someone slipped a disc. I don't know. She was going to some appointment and she was so annoyed that this person had a physical ailment that she couldn't keep her appointment. And then another favorite is don't make me feed you to one of the models. Like when he was joking around with Andy, because she did something and he was just like I like that they had that banter.
Yes, they had banter.
And then there's so many Miranda quotes.
I like it when she's like, what does she say? Please do move at a glacial speed.
By all means, move at a glacial pace. You know how that thrills me. Just her
delivery.
Yes, her delivery of all of these lines is just one of the things that make it so memorable.
I think it's because she's a fairly stoic character. She's not overly excitable. She's not overly showing any emotions.
Yeah. She's there's very few times we get a real moment from her.
Yeah.
Just a handful of them. I really like the one is, why is no one ready? Like, just, again, the way she says it, that one's a good one. Please bore someone else with your questions. I several times have said that to Rogie.
She's not here to help you do your job or to tell you anything about how to do your job. She is being thrown to the wolves, figure it all out, which honestly is really unfair.
She doesn't feel like she has time for it because she's the only person in the world that can do this job. She's the only one. So says her.
Yes.
The details of your incompetence do not interest me.
I like that one a lot.
A big fan of that one.
I wish I had the opportunity to say that in real life, but I would never actually say it when I want to, just because.
Yeah. I don't think that would be helpful in your field.
It made me feel better.
Florals for spring, groundbreaking. You have no sense of style or sense of fashion. I think that depends on, no. That wasn't a question.
Mm-hmm.
Just her. I'd love it. And then her last one, that's all. Just all she did was look up and down. She's like, that's all.
Yeah. I do think the first one, it made her quite mean. Because I'm thinking about some of these things. I'm like, so she's direct, she's to the point. But these are actually kind of mean.
Some of them, sure.
Are they not what we're thinking? We're definitely thinking all of these things. But we're not saying them.
She didn't get to the place that she was by making friends with everyone along the way. And sure, she could have said some of these in a nicer, kinder way. But I think that she felt that she's more effective being the brace iceberg that she is, just plowing through whatever to get the job done.
I mean, and I don't necessarily think she's wrong because she has a high standard for the people around her and she's asking them to meet the standard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when she is displeased, she is saying she's displeased.
Yep. You're going to know about it.
But she's not necessarily saying when she's...
By the purse of her lips, you're going to know about it.
Yeah. She's not necessarily saying when she's is pleased either.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I love Devil Wears Prada. I will continue to watch it regularly. I was talking with Rogie. We were talking about rom-coms the other day and how I've seen some of them, over a dozen times or dozens of times or whatever. This one I have seen dozens of times. I greatly enjoy it. I will continue to watch it. It's one of my feel-good movies for sure.
And I would go ahead and say that this one is a bit of a rom-com, but it's also the romance is not the main storyline either.
No, it's not. We didn't even talk about the one guy that was flirting with her and all that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. He was a good flirt, honestly.
Yeah.
He was
because that's all he does.
Oh
That's for sure. What he does is just flirt with random people and see what he can get.
Yeah, he did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
For The Devil Wears Prada 2, of course, 2026.
All our favorite people again.
Yep. And Andy Sachs returns to Runway as Miranda Priestly navigates a new media landscape and Runway's position within. The duo reconnect with former assistant Emily, now the head of a luxury brand that possesses funding which could ensure Runway's survival. So this is really fun. We don't know how Andy's getting back there. And we find out, like, they move super quickly for the front of the movie. Andy works for a magazine. She gets she works for a paper.
Yeah.
And she's getting awards. And she gets a text message that she's been fired. They've sold off the company.
Yeah.
Which is like a super great way to be laid off, via text message. So the son of Irv gets this text message about Andy's article that she wrote about being fired. And he thinks that this could turn around the worldwide perception of Runway, which they don't really hit very much on, except that Runway has somehow gotten into an issue with a supplier that is using a sweatshop.
And so Runway had sent their reporters to like cover it, and they had been like given the wrong information about it. They had kind of been tricked. And so like Runway ran an article without realizing, like with misinformation. And so they were just getting plowed for it. Like that's essentially what it was, that they weren't given the right information. Possibly they hadn't done the amount of research they should have. And it was just kicking back to them.
I thought it was one of their suppliers.
I'm not 100% sure.
So I don't feel like they were super clear on that bit of the detail.
Okay.
But Andy's supposed to come in and make it all better. And she's so excited about the job. I told Rachel, I said, the most unrealistic thing about this is that she was fired and within 2 days, she has another job.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I don't think so.
Never happens in real life. I can't imagine. Like,
no, whatever. It took me out of it. It was that crazy to me. But she is so hyped up. She goes into Miranda's office. She's here. She's great. And we're going to work together. Woohoo. And Miranda's like, do I know you? I don't know you.
Just classic Miranda fashion. I like that we get to see that there's a number 1 and a number 2 still. And I think it was fun seeing Runway like all dolled up, different, like modernized. Like you're getting to see the office a little differently. It's more open.
Some stuff is the same. Some stuff has been elevated.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
changed a little bit. Remodel.
I liked seeing that for sure. And then also just all the fashion, like just seeing, everybody's outfits and everything. Like
I definitely loved these outfits way more.
Yeah.
There were so many more sparkly things and there were so many ties. I love everything with ties.
Constantly throughout the movie, Jessica's leaning over. I would wear that. I love that. That's great. All of that. Like just
I would wear all those things. Listen, I have kind of a short neck though. So I don't know really that I can pull off a tie very well. But if I could, I definitely would.
Well, you can just wear the tie dress that the assistant was wearing, where it was all the ties like horizontal.
Which I loved the look of, but I think that would be like very constricting in a way that I don't enjoy.
I mean, it was corset-ish. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So we get to see them working together and kind of trying to live with each other and figuring out what that looks like. Because Miranda, again, isn't giving her any feedback. She's just like, you're here, we're waiting you out until you're gone. Yeah. Like, you're not really going to save us.
Which is sort of what she said in the first one. Like, you'll never last.
Yeah. We get to see what Emily is doing. She's over at Coach now. Nope. She's at Dior. Yes. And I love that she was wearing Dior. You could see the words Dior on her every time she was on screen. For when she was like doing stuff with that. Like, I thought that was such a fun detail that she was living and breathing Dior. Like,
I'm a big fan of Emily Blunt. I haven't seen something. Oh, wait, nope. I have seen one thing I haven't really loved her in. But most of the stuff that I see her in, I like her.
Yeah.
And that thing wasn't about her. It was just I didn't really like the movie in general. But she is, I love her delivery just as much as I love Miranda's delivery.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love her accent with it. I just, everything about it, it's very crisp. And I really enjoy that with her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and my whole point in saying that was she's like, you're so different. Like, they just steamroll you. you're so different. You're so much more confident now, but you kept those eyebrows. Okay, Miranda, what are we doing here? Like, and it's just funny.
Yeah.
I think we definitely laughed at a lot of the same parts at the same time.
Yes.
Which is a little crazy too.
As we're in the theater with the 7 other people that were there, not in our party, I'm booming. Y'all have heard my laugh. So could everyone else. Like, it was just booming in this theater.
The people behind us were laughing.
They were laughing.
Too.
I appreciated that. But nobody else, the elderly couple and then the 3 other people sitting over there, like multiple times, you could just hear me ringing throughout. And I'm just like, no, this is funny. I'm allowed to laugh. Like, it's okay.
You were always allowed to laugh. Like,
tell Roki that.
Art is for enjoyment. Come on. Or to make you think, whatever. But this one definitely was living in the comedy section a little bit.
I love how Andy got the big win with the interview of one of the big wigs there. So that really kind of hit home is it Sasha? Okay.
Sasha Barnes.
Sorry. Yeah. So we got to see her have a win and Miranda be able to do it. Because for some reason, when I heard that they got the interview, I didn't think Miranda would be doing the interview.
Yes, I was thinking about that. And I think that was a great call because Andy could have done it herself, but it wasn't just about an interview and an article. It was, they wanted it to be the cover.
Yeah.
They wanted it to be the feature, like the main thing you're reading the article for or the magazine for. So they went big with it. And I like that Miranda interviewed her because, and she says, you didn't ask me about my ex-husband. She's like, why should you be defined by him? And so she's really she is relevant still.
Yeah. And I realized then something we didn't talk about earlier. So Runway has gone digital. And so they're now having to do their marketing for Instagram, for, quick reads, for these little nanobites of information. Yeah. Like, it's such a different book than what it was before. And so I was like, oh, like, that's why all these cameras are here. Like, that's why this interview is being done in the way that it is, because they've got to have these sound bites. They've got to have, these little bits, because we in this generation take content. Like, if you don't show me something that interests me in the first 4 seconds, I'm passing on to the next one. Like, and so, I think I really appreciated being able to see how much Runway had evolved throughout this and like throughout what they had to do now, it being different, because honestly, sometimes it's tough for people to be able to change that much. And so to see Miranda embrace, I'm sure she wasn't like loving it, but like, she's like, this is what I got to do and we're getting it done. And so, I liked seeing that.
I am surprised that there just hasn't been a lawsuit big enough to knock her out of her position, because the things that she did in the first movie are not okay as far as like an employer actively asking you for these things.
Yeah.
But I also don't work in high fashion. So maybe it's not okay.
But also HR has talked with her because she now hangs up her own coat.
Yep.
So like stuff has happened
and
to
she knows there are things that she's not really allowed to say.
Multiple times she like looked at her assistant and was just like,
which she never would have done in the first one.
Yes.
She never would have like consulted or looked for the feedback if it was correct or not.
Yeah. So there's some growth.
There's definitely growth.
Yeah.
And I think we just realized like we have, as an audience, have grown up a little bit since we saw the first movie too. Our lives have changed and we realized that she's maybe a little bit more complicated of a character.
Yeah.
She's not necessarily just the villain, right?
She's on a different man in this one. Andy starts dating somebody new, which it's her husband. I think she got remarried again. So now this is at least Miranda's fourth husband, because she had a couple before. Andy starts dating somebody. And so like we're getting to see those relationships as well. And one of the things I said to Jess, it was nice to see Miranda happy with her husband, just seeing her marriage in the first one.
Yeah.
And then getting to see this one where they understood each other. And
in a way,
he was like, he had his own thing. He was
He's part of a quartet.
Yes, part of a quartet that did very well. Like he was traveling and doing that. And so he had his thing, she had her thing, and they were able to mutually,
they
appreciate
were okay with it for each other.
What the other person was able to do, and they didn't have to be on top of each other all the time. So, yeah.
We don't want to give away any big plot points, but you do see a little bit more interaction with Miranda and Andy in a very different way. And
there's a twist. There was a twist that neither of us saw coming.
One of the things that I don't think is giving away too much is Andy asks Nigel about his part at Runway still.
Yeah.
And she's kind of blown away. And he says, this is kind of where I'm at, 2 steps behind and slightly to the
left
side.
Side. Yeah.
And she's like, well, why don't you just tell her that you want to do something more? And he's very hesitant and like, why would I even do that? And at the end of the movie, like, he doesn't say anything to Miranda, but Andy sort of gets the message to Miranda in a kind of way without just saying Nigel wants to do more. And you can see like this total growth moment for her. She is like, no, you're just being funny. He, of course, doesn't want to do that. And then you can see like she's like flipping through the Rolodex in her brain of, oh my gosh, maybe he does want to do these things and I have not given him this opportunity. And I think there's a lot to unpack there because, one, as people, are we creating an environment safe enough for our closest friends to tell us what they really want? Like, are we being the people that they want to share that with? And 2, like, are we telling our friends and our people in our lives what we want? Like, are we being brave enough to just tell them?
Yeah.
So that can go like both ways, but I think it's like I do think that's a life lesson moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And I appreciate that we got to see that moment with her too. And that Andy wasn't being too pushy or like, she wasn't like mean or rude or anything, but she was just like, hey, like, I think this is something you need to look into. And then I liked that visual that you shared of just like Miranda going through the Rolodex. She's literally speeding through and seeing
can see it,
things
like,
that he said, or, he's just like, oh, Miranda's going to do one of her breaking speeches. Don't worry, I've almost finished writing it. And so like complimenting himself through her and just kind of being able to see like, oh, he wouldn't mind some more of that spotlight and seeing what that looks like. So yeah.
I do love that. And at the end, like it ends pretty well. I do love that. There's a scene with Emily and Andy and about, they, after the first movie, they sort of drifted and they tried to, Emily reached out a couple times, but Andy didn't realize it. She's like, oh my gosh, you wanted to be friends. And like, there's just a whole funny bit about how Emily doesn't do emotions. And this is one of my favorite quotes from there. She's like, shared carbs have no calories. Love that. Yes. And I will be using that one for sure.
Such a good Emily quote. Yeah. I appreciate that we got to see, I felt like it was honestly one of the best sequels I think I've seen in a long time. And
it hit all like the highs that the first one did, like the main sort of story points with like the twists and not the same twist, but a twist.
Yeah.
The ungettable get, which is like the manuscript in the first one and the interview in the second one, like it hits kind of the same beat. So there's the nostalgia there.
Yep.
But it's still is a new story.
Yeah.
There's new things happening.
There's enough going on that we're seeing it. And so I really appreciated that because I didn't feel like it was, it's not just a money grab. Like they took time and effort to put together a script and making it something that would fit the first Devil Wears Prada, fit the brand of it.
Yeah.
And just getting to see all of the high fashion and fun points from it was just fantastic from the fan side for me. I just loved that. And I love seeing the little bits and nods to the first one. We've talked about a couple of them already. But one of my favorites was she has the blue sweater, but she turned it into a little sweater vest.
Super cute.
So she's wearing that. And I like seeing just Andy being her normal, just kind of still natural self. Like she wore the same 2 necklaces almost the entire film.
Yeah.
And I was like tracking it because I'm like, if she was wearing it or if she had switched or if she was only wearing one of them. And so I just appreciated seeing that consistency of her and like how much she was still some of that Andy that we saw in the first one, but she's just still elevated and fashion forward. And you were looking up some of the bags and stuff that she was like, oh, this is such a nice bag that she has. And so, yeah, just getting to see that I really appreciated. So.
And we do get the montage in the second one As well, nobody panic. So that's lovely. You get to see all of her different outfits again.
Yes. Oh yeah. There was just so many outfits. It was just
I feel like
wonderful.
there were more.
Yes,
there were definitely more.
I loved it because there was more of a group setting almost because we were seeing Andy and Stanley and Meryl and the assistant. So mixture of characters and real people's names.
Rogie and I do that all the time. It's fine.
And so, there was more people to kind of keep track of. I appreciated also Stanley. He had that gigantic ring that he had worn.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
In the first one and the second one. It's like a globe on his hand.
Yeah, I don't know if he was using it as like it was like if you flick your wrist hard enough, it pops out into that magnifying glass that he was like looking at the prince with maybe.
Yeah. So I loved seeing that.
That was huge.
I did take down a couple core quotes again. This one I don't feel like is as quotable as the first one, but I think there were still a couple good ones. So some of my favorites was, well, look at what TJ Maxx dragged in. Nigel, he said that to Anne / Andy when he saw her. And then Amaria, which is the new Emily for Miranda. She's like, who gives Chanel away? Like what, like who on earth does this? Which I think is kind of fair. Like I wouldn't be given everything to Emily after I got it from Paris. But
I think that was her making amends though, right? Like she felt guilty.
A little
she's
bit.
Like, am I going to use this?
Maybe I'm just more selfish, I guess, than Andy. So
well, I mean, maybe she kept like a couple things, but yeah.
Yeah. And then one of my favorite Emily ones was "May the bridges I burn light my way."
Didn't she say that in the first one too?
I couldn't remember. I didn't see it in the first one, but I saw it connected to the second one. So I'm not sure. Yeah. And then the tough one from Miranda, but I still appreciated it, was "You're not a visionary, you're a vendor." And so I think she was just really kind of getting the point across to who she was talking to there. And just, it really, I feel like just hit the nail on the head of this is where we are. This is what it is. And so, yeah.
I think that, she would get crucified for saying something like that, but she's not pulling her punches either. And sometimes you just have to hear a hard truth.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we all do. Sometimes we have to deliver one too, and if you're not clear about it, then it's open for interpretation.
Yeah.
So I think I liked the Miranda character a lot more in this one because you can see, you just see a lot more about her and you realize,
we're getting to see more of Miranda and who she is, whereas the first one, she was just this one side, and then we saw her break a small moment, and then that was it.
Yeah. It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Will you watch again?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I will watch both of them again multiple times. One of the things I did forget to say about the first one, of one of my annoying, unrealistic parts of a movie, when Anne Hathaway throws her cell phone into the fountain when she's in another country. Like,
yeah,
one of my frustrating pieces for sure of when someone does that. I think we've talked about that before in movies when characters will do things that people just don't do in real life. And one of them being throwing their cell phone into water.
Ever.
Like,
ever. I don't
absolutely not.
I know you want to think that you're going to pick up that cell phone and throw it across the room, but how many people are actually doing it?
Yeah.
Because listen, I have an iPhone and this one is several years old, but I'm still not throwing it.
Yeah. I'm taking care of it.
Now, I might drop it unintentionally.
Sure. Yeah.
That very much could happen, but I'm definitely not purposely trying to destroy it.
No.
So, yeah, that's super unrealistic.
So, yes, if you have not seen Devil Wears Prada or Devil Wears Prada 2, I highly encourage you to watch them both. They get Rachel's stars of approval.
For sure. I would definitely see it again, just like even for the fact that I'm sure I was missing things because I was laughing because, there were so many outfits and like I was paying attention to like weird details.
Yeah. The strobe lights that we had in our movie theater because the lights were flashing ridiculously. Yeah.
So I would definitely, I would even see it again soon because I think I missed things that I would enjoy you know?
Yeah.
But
for
yeah,
sure.
for sure. It's definitely a fun one. If you had a good time hanging out with us, click in our show notes, leave us a comment, check out our link tree. You can listen, follow, and keep up with the show, and send us a voicemail, like and subscribe. And thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.